Shalom, shalom, beloved. Today is the fourth day of the week, and it's um, basically the end of the fourth day um, in Australia. I want to thank you, Yahuwah, that I am honored, and I'm honored that I'm your servant, that I can read your word of life and truth. Thank you, Yahuwah, for all things. And I pray for you, beloved, without ceasing, that we'll be strong and we last to the end. We endure to the end. In Yahusha, through Yahusha Messiah. I read for you the chapter 14, Ezekiel. And some of the elders of Israel came to me and sat before me. And the word of Yahuwah came to me, saying, Son of man, these men have set up their idols in their hearts, and have put the stumbling block of their crookedness before their face. Should I let them inquire of me at all? Therefore speak to them, and you shall say to them, Thus said Adonai Yahuwah, every one of the house of Israel, who sets up his idols in his heart, and puts the stumbling block of his crookedness before his face, and shall come to the prophet, I Yahuwah shall answer him who comes, according to his many idols, in order to lay hold of the house of Israel by their heart, for they have become estranged from me by their idols, all of them. Therefore say to the house of Israel, Thus said Adonai Yahuwah, Repent, and turn back from your idols, and turn back your faces from all your abominations. For any one of the house of Israel, or of the strangers who sojourn in Israel, who separates himself from me, and sets up his idols in his heart, and puts the stumbling block on his crookedness before his face, and shall come to the prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I Yahuwah shall answer him myself. And I should set my face against that man, and make him a sign, a proverb, and I should cut him off from the midst of my people. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah. And if the prophet is deceived, and I shall speak a word, I Yahuwah have deceived the prophet, and shall stretch out my hand against him, and destroy him from the midst of my people Israel. And they should bear their crookedness. The crookedness of the prophet is the same as the crookedness of the inquirer, so that the house of Israel no longer strays from me, nor be made unclean and more with all their transgressions. And they shall be my people, and I be their Elohim, declares the Adonai Yahuwah. And the word of Yahuwah came again to me, saying, Son of man, when the land sins against me, to commit a trespass, and I should stretch out my hand against it, and cut off its supply of bread, and send scarcity of food on it, and cut off men and beasts from it, even though the three men, Noah, Daniel, and Job, were in it, they would deliver only themselves by their righteousness, declares Adonai Yahuwah. If I cause an evil beast to pass through the land, and it shall be ravaged, and it shall be a wasteland, so that no man passes through because of the beasts, even though the three men were in it, as I live, declares Adonai Yahuwah, they would deliver neither sons nor daughters. They alone would be delivered, but the land be a wasteland. Or if I bring a sword on the land, and I shall say, Sword, go through the land, and I should cut off men and beasts from it, even though the three men were in its midst, so I live, declares Adonai Yahuwah, they would deliver neither sons nor daughters, for they alone would be delivered. Or if I send a pestilence into the land, and I shall pour out my wrath on it in blood, to cut off from it man and beast, even though Noah, Daniel, and Job were in it, as I live, declares Adonai Yahuwah, they would deliver neither son nor daughter, they would deliver their own lives, but their righteousness. For thus says Adonai Yahuwah, how much more it shall be when I send my 4 evil judgments on Jerusalem, the sword and scarcity of food and evil beasts, and pestilence, to cut off, this is what's happened to this phone, to cut off, I think, man and beast from it, but I can't read it, beloved. Anyway, I will be reading when I can see, and it's not what I want, it's not what anyone, yeah, that's it. To cut off man and beast from it, see? But see, there shall be left in it a remnant, who are brought out, both sons and daughters. See, they are coming out to you, and you shall see their ways and their deeds, and shall be comforted concerning the evil which I have brought upon Jerusalem, all that I have brought upon it. And they should comfort you when you see their ways and their deeds, and you shall know that it was not for naught that I have done whatever I did in it, declares Adonai Yahuwah. Beloved, that's the truth about those 3 men. Each of them were righteous. They were different persons, different characters, they had different situation. They were put by Yahuwah. Yahuwah put them into the trial. They were tested as well. They were righteous. We know their stories. Even if they were there in the land, they will be able to deliver only themselves. That's what I'm speaking to you, beloved. The path is narrow. No one will help you. Help me. Only Yahuwah. You can deliver yourself. You can't deliver anyone else's. You can pray for them. You can encourage them. You can warn them. But the path is narrow and it's full of obstacles. So think about it. Even if you're in those ministries watching those people speaking, they can't help you. You better get your walk, your relationship right with Yahuwah. Right now. Start from now. Instead to waste your time watching those YouTube channels when they actually don't speak anything new. They repeat things. They go for someone who starts it. You can't keep watching them. They're not adding anything. And if they they speak something, maybe it's interesting, maybe tickles your ear. I'm not saying they're speaking wrong things, but they make you stuck there, concentrating on they saying, instead to find a place, quiet spot, a quiet place that you can spend some time, or the time you're watching, and instead to doing it, to spend the time with Yahuwah, with His deliverance, Yahusha. Think about it. No one will help you. No one will deliver you. from any of trouble, anything. Yahuwah is the only one. Under his wings you will be safe. That's what it will be. And those people will only be able to save themselves, deliver themselves. They won't be able to deliver anyone else's. We're only responsible for our actions, and no one else's can take the responsibility. And if you make your paths right with Yahuwah, and you focus on Him, and build a true relationship, you will feel safe. You won't need those people. You will be fine, nourished, complete, in peace, and walking steadfast with Yahuwah, His arm of deliverance, Yahusha. I love you. Yahuwah bless.